Today we have Eileen Leonard kindly joining us. So this is podcast 2 of the 6 mini-series that I'm doing called the Masked Sessions.
Nice.
So I've been a fan of yours since I first came across you.
Jeez.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
Big time. Because I've been going around to, all the various exhibitions and the NCAD sort of graduate program,
Mm-hmm.
sort of exhibitions or end of year exhibitions. And I think that's where I first came across your work. Was that like 2023?
Yeah, 2023. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going back through my photographs because that was the first time I'd ever gone to it, and I was looking and I went, "They're your photographs that I took as well." So
your camera roll must be so full. At this
it's
stage.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's funny. I had to buy additional space.
I don't doubt.
For kind of uploading and stuff like that. But no, it was great. Like, it's a real benefit when you've actually seen people's work.
Yeah.
In person. So tell us about NCAD.
Yeah. So I took her handy the whole course, because you could get her done in 3 years now. They've made it, but I think it took me 5.
Okay.
I think, and you could become a fully qualified midwife in that time, So
yeah.
I'm kind of thinking, woo. Yeah, I took her handy, but yeah, it was great. I went straight from school, so I was 18, freshly 18, and if I had have just ploughed through, I would have been done at 21.
Yeah.
Which would have been, I think, a bit too much of a boot camp.
Yeah.
To try and fit all that learning into.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from 2018 until 2023 were the years that I kind of on and off spent, and then living in Germany and Erasmus and stuff in the middle.
And like living in Germany, and was that sort of still arts based, or did you take time away from art?
I had deferred my final year in NCAD and had gone to live in Leipzig because I heard there was a fabulous art scene in Leipzig, and also the rent was super affordable. So I was there and working in a bar, and just renting a studio and working away.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And so the grad show that I saw of yours would have been 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How was the experience of doing that show?
It's wild, to be honest. It's because it's the first time that a lot of people can be showing like a collection of work, a body of work, rather than just a picture here and there in group shows.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a whole different beast. And also everything gets ramped up. There's quite a lot of press and a lot of heads going to see it. It's
guys in masks.
Guys in masks going to see it. So it's kind of thrilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, because you just from memory, would you have had like 6, 8 pieces or something?
Yeah, I had 2 really large ones, and then they kind of got smaller and smaller. I think there maybe would have been around 8 or 10 maybe.
Would I be right in saying your work tends to be more on the large scale side?
Yeah, I've got the bug for working big, unfortunately.
And up to the dimensions of a lot of your work, I say everything's over like a metre by a metre for sure.
Yeah. So, and I'm only a learner driver, so van hire. I'm having to pull in a lot of favours to treat the painting big bug. But it's so much fun. It's just great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But your world kind of gets smaller and smaller the larger you paint,
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And after NCAD then, what did you do?
So I was super lucky to get a bit of funding from the Thomas Damon Jr. Memorial Trust Award, which is a bit of a mouthful, but it's a travel grant that you can get to go on research trips to fuel your practice. And yes, I got some funding from them to go to a highlands in Indonesia on the island Sulawesi to research burial customs for a 2-month period.
Okay.
And that was pretty much straight after graduating. So I kind of took a bit of a step back from the making and began to research new bodies of work. And
I'm glad you said Sulawesi instead of me. Well, because I was sort of looking at it and I was there going, am I going to remember that that name? What was that, sorry, when you said that sort of research piece was around burial?
Yeah.
So just tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so I became interested in looking at different burial customs off the back of a 5-month residency I did in the Netherlands in a natural burial ground, which kind of came to me haphazardly. It was really not how I expected to spend my Erasmus in kind of, the countryside in a graveyard. I thought it was all very strange and not planned necessarily, but it was a fantastic experience. And it wasn't to do with painting at all. It was to do with like natural materials and kind of, earth art and digging and scent making and wood carving and stuff like that.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think I think it's great to apply for things even if you're not certain you'll get them.
Yeah.
Because it's great to get better at application processes, and it's just great to kind of get your name out and to have your work seen by people on kind of even on the panels who are assessing things. So I went ahead and I applied for the trip to Indonesia, where in a place called Toraja in the highlands of Sulawesi, they live among the dead, and they don't bury the dead there. Anyone in your family who dies, you'll put them in a crypt, and there's rituals. There's a ritual called Matanene where every 5 to 7 years the family will go to the crypt in the countryside and take out however many loved ones that they've put away. So it could be 20 or 30 people, and they change their clothes, and
Really?
People who've been born in the meantime greet the person who's dead and everything. Yeah, so it's kind of just a completely different approach to mourning and to death and to burial than we have here. So, yeah.
That's super unique.
Yeah.
Were you there for any burials?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was there for the funerals that they have there. They have 7 days of kind of celebrations and where they build mini villages, and so I was there for lots of funerals, and then I was there for a few different matinee ceremonies as well. That's
fascinating.
Yeah, they were super welcoming. Like everyone there was so nice, and it was just loads of fun. There's kind of not the same sadness around grief there. So they were super welcome to me kind of popping along.
And like sort of they welcomed you in, and
absolutely,
were you the only person or artist sort of there on sort of placement? Yeah.
My partner came with me for moral support, which was great. I don't know how I was thinking of going on my own, because it's great to just have someone to chat to about what's gone on in the day and stuff.
Good support.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because it's like heavy enough experience in itself, because it's so contrasting to how we, buried the dead here.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you said 5 years. So
5 to 7, just depending on the family.
They open up the crypts.
Yeah.
So there could be 1, 2, 3 deceased people there in the crypt.
That would be on the smaller numbers.
Would it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were with a family who were, I think, taking it around 20 of their loved ones.
So they take the 20 loved ones out and then redress them, as you were saying.
Yeah.
And introduce them to the new generations.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
That's a serious experience to witness.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't heard about other people going to research it at all, but I have now, since coming home, heard of there's I've seen more about it online, and so
has it changed your view on sort of the burial process?
I was hoping it would more than it has, because I've definitely learned a lot through being there, but you can't translate the kind of experience at all.
Big time. And sorry, how long were you out there?
2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And so when you came back, what was on your mind to do art-wise after that?
So it was kind of, since coming back, there's been no kind of visual narratives that are coming through the work from what I saw there.
Okay.
But I think it kind of has helped me inspire an attitude of kind of unabashedness, kind of, and not a shyness, like continuing to make what you feel you need to. Yeah. Despite the outcome and stuff. So it's kind of more inspired an attitude in me. Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
And when actually did you come back from that?
In October of last year.
October.
So I would have been there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know I was reading you have some sort of recent achievements, with placements. We'll talk about them in a few minutes. So when you came back, did you go back into your studio or, to produce work, or to take a bit of time out?
I kind of go a bit mad when I'm not making.
That's good. I like that.
Yes.
What's mad? What's mad?
Like, just a bit like itchy and tetchy and upset,
Okay.
Oh,
if you're not creating.
Yeah. And that sounds kind of much more romantic than it actually is. It's yeah.
Twitchy doesn't sound romantic.
No, okay. But to say I love to make, I'm not well when I don't make. It's
but I can understand it,
yeah.
because it's it seems like talking to other artists, and it's very much like an internal need or drive, as opposed to just like going to work 9 to 5, where you're doing it for to make money. It's something inside you that's compelling you to create. So if that's not being sort of fed, I can see where the twitchiness, as you said, comes from.
You need to feed the beast.
Yeah. Exactly. Keep you tame.
Yeah, but I went in to do a 2-month residency, I think, shortly after I came back. And it was a collaborative residency with a peer of mine, Amy Hope Jackson is another artist.
Oh, the lady that we were,
Yes, so we did a 2-month residency together in the College Lane Gallery, which is a gallery in Howth, run by Yops Grave. So that was kind of a great way to kickstart the making again. And
what's a collaborative sort of residency or placement?
Yeah, we took it really so literally. We were co-painting on the same canvases at the same time, kind of jointed the hip sort of thing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have similar styles?
No, really quite different. So it was great fun. We kind of saw it as an effort that you would paint a bit of something, and if you're kind of having a problem with it, you send in the other person, like an emergency service, like a fire brigade, to put out the fire and swap around like that. So that was a nice way to kind of get back into the making post Sulawesi.
And like, would you so say you have like a large canvas, and so Amy,
yes,
so she's painting away,
yes, she
calls the fire brigade, all right, so you come in, like, would you be touching up her work or changing her work, or is it like a 50-50 on a canvas, like you do your side, I do mine?
It was kind of, the rule was, I think, and it's a rule I like to keep generally, is just as long as you're having fun with all the marks that you're making, kind of doesn't matter the outcome. And it can be, people were asking quite a bit, like, oh God, but do you not feel bad painting over maybe what they've done?
Yeah.
But the joy of doing that with someone is great.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of so, you're not supposed to do that. You think you'd be more delicate and work around what they've done, but if it was wrong, you just fix it or do whatever you liked. And
is that a normal thing, like a collaborative sort of residency? Is that the term? Sorry, residency.
Residency. It was like,
is that normal? Like, where you do such a collaboration?
I'm not sure.
It seems really interesting.
Yeah,
and also like, that kind of delicacy where, like, Amy's painting her picture, and then you come in with a big brush with black paint on it. I have to go across it, like,
just destroy what
how's the friendship? How's the friendship now? Like,
it's great, stronger than ever.
Good. And sorry, how you did that for how long?
2 months.
2 months, okay.
And then had a show at the end of that, a duo show called Two Women and a Child in Tears. It was called.
Two Women and a Child in Tears.
Featuring the collaborative paintings. But then since then, I've just been back to we've been going back to our separate practices, and
you still talk.
We still talk.
And how many pieces, like, did you? Because every piece was a collaboration piece that was on show.
No, it was 3 large scale collaborative paintings, and then our own separate work as well.
Okay, so how many pieces would have been in the show?
God, we kind of salon style hung it, so I'm not sure. We really fit in as much as we could.
All right, okay, so it was a packed.
It was a bit packed, yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So you had a show for the public to come in and that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was great fun. And do you enjoy exhibitions yourself?
I do. I'm sort of half. At the start, it was easier. I could kind of scurry around, and I didn't feel anyone was looking at me.
Yeah.
But now people are looking out for me. Okay. So I really enjoy going to them, because I wouldn't have, like, I would have always gone to exhibitions, but not sort of frequently. Like, like when you were a kid growing up and maybe you were abroad, you were brought into, exhibitions, and you'd visit things. I always remember going to Salvador Dali.
I was just about to ask you, had you been? I had a feeling.
Yeah.
Going to that exhibition, where it's in Spain somewhere.
No, I think it I haven't thought of this, right? It could have been. Now, I know this is a bit kind of far apart, or it could have been in America. I'm not sure where it was.
Okay.
But I still remember going.
Yes.
And I also still remember my parents buying, it was like sort of prints. They were quite large, or they seemed quite large anyway. They could have been like bigger than A4. I'm never quite sure of these kind of measurements and that. But and I remember looking at them all and, trying to, there was one particular one, haven't a clue of the name of it. Like, you tilt in a particular way and you can see like a sort of a man with a shirt and tie.
Yeah.
And then it kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would have gone to various ones, but just when I set up this project, I started going to everyone that I possibly could.
That's great.
Because what I found the hardest was when I did the first exhibition was people submit their work online. So I don't get that luxury of seeing the work in person. So that can be very hard, because some people are fantastic at photographing the work and have really do it really well. And I always think of, there's Peter Smith. I always think like his sort of production value when he sends you the pictures, like it's perfect. It's nearly like you're looking at the thing in person, whereas a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And they take very peculiar pictures in peculiar settings, like the back garden with the clothesline, kind of in the background.
Yeah.
And it takes from it. So it's I started going to lots of exhibitions because, say for instance, I've seen your work, okay, and I've seen, like Abstract Boundaries was a show just around the corner here, maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and so I was going in, and you'd see the various artists, and you get to actually see their work up close. That's really important. So then when they send the photographs in, I already know what their work is like. So if the picture isn't as good, I've seen their work and I go, okay, I know it'll look good. So, that's handy. So yeah, I'm lurking around most exhibitions now at this point.
And do you go to the openings?
Yeah, I would.
Do?
Yeah, I go to the openings if I can, because I get quite impatient. Like Abstract Boundaries opened on a Thursday. Yeah. And I was there, I'm definitely going to be there on a Thursday. Yeah. So there was, I don't know how many artists were in the Abstract Boundaries, but I don't know, maybe there was 20 or something like that. But no, I went and it was a busy night and I was trying to get a friend to come with me, and friends normally come with me because it kind of dilutes your being obvious, kind of lurking around with the camera.
Genius. And
so, but no one came with me that night. So I was I was a bit more conscious.
Okay.
Because people do mess you going, I think I saw you and this and that. And
is anyone barking up the right tree?
No. I'm too left field. Okay. So, which is handy. People probably guess or say, oh, that's him. Not guess, but they might be able to point me out.
Yeah.
But until I ultimately say it's me,
they can't prove it.
It's not me. So it's nice,
Yeah.
I was looking, actually, you have a show coming up. Is this your first solo show next year?
My first solo show, yeah.
Tell us about that. That's exciting.
I'm ecstatic. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's in the lab.
Yes, I was there once.
Yeah. It's a fabulous gallery.
Yeah.
Run by Dublin City Council, and it's on James Joyce Street. Yeah. And it's just,
So when's that starting?
It's starting in January, mid-January.
Brilliant.
And then we'll be running
so very
until March.
Close.
Yeah.
Very close. Not to stress you out.
No, it's okay.
Have you finished all your work for it?
No.
Have you started?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm ecstatic about it because the space is it's obviously the largest space that I will have exhibited in. Yeah. So my painting Big Bug is truly allowed to thrive now, How big is Big Bug? Big Bug.
Give me dimensions.
I'm working on diptychs, vertical diptychs that are panelled as two 160 by 160 square canvases. So it'll be 320 high
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's well named.
It's
yeah, it's well named for sure.
But it's great fun.
Brilliant.
It's great fun. Paint gets expensive now when you start painting so big, but
yeah, like
I'll find a patron someday.
yeah, exactly. No, that's what you need.
Yeah.
But like because I was in the lab once last year. There was a girl, I can't remember, Hannah Nee something. I can't remember her name offhand. But like, do you have that kind of second floor?
I have the whole gallery.
So the ground floor, second floor, and there's
there's a balcony space.
Yeah,
so gallery
that's the bit I was on.
Yeah,
there was kind of installations or something downstairs.
Yeah,
some kids thing as well. I don't think though. I'm not sure if that was part of it.
They do a lot of community minded things in the lab.
So
yeah,
you have the whole space.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And how many PC are you going to like roughly have on show at that, or is that like top secret?
I'm not much of a numbers gal. So Margarita Kapuk is she's curating the show. So yeah, we'll see. Okay. I think I've been told before I throw the kitchen sink and everything in the kitchen sink, or however that saying goes, at things. So I think I'll need to be advised on paring it back and leaving the painting space to breathe and so on and so forth. Yeah.
Well, that is super exciting to have.
Yeah.
And how did that come about?
I got onto the lab. Got onto the lab about it.
You chased them down.
Yeah, I think that's not the way it's supposed to go. But I just thought, hey,
that's the best way, when it's like, you're not supposed to be sitting with a mask on either. Like, but like, do it and see what happens.
Yeah,
that's
right.
And look what's happening now.
Right.
Now you have your first solo exhibition.
Right, and because I feel like there's maybe a good few rules in the art community, like some things it's a bit of like, oh, this is quite easy to make faux pas, but I'm kind of a bit oblivious to what the rules are, which is handy as well.
That's really good.
Because I'm not certain of when I'm kind of
overstepping the mark.
Yeah.
But that's fantastic. Like, like what's the worst they say? No,
not
now, but we could do it, in 2026 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So like continue to be oblivious about the rules. I think that's
I appreciate this.
That's a good way of doing it. And you have, I saw an exciting announcement there. I got my RHA email there the other day, and you have the use of. Tell us about that.
Yeah,
you say it.
So Fingal County Council and the RHA get together and they do an annual studio residency award for a year-long period for a studio, in the RHA in town. So, and I've been kindly awarded that. So that's a bit of a pinch me moment.
Big time.
Yeah, because it's incredibly hard to come by studios in Dublin these days. So,
that's a super achievement.
Yeah, thank you.
And do you have that? You have that for a year?
Yeah.
So has that started, or when's it started?
No, it's starting in October.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And have you seen the studio space?
I've seen some of the studios they have in the RHA, but I'm not sure I've seen the one that I'll be in.
That's brilliant. And is there other artists as well who've received it? Like, is it?
I think it's just one.
Okay.
But there's other artists working in other studios up.
Yeah.
In the RHA, so I can't wait to. Be mincing around town again.
Brilliant.
I've been very much of a homebody since graduating.
So you've been hanging around Howth?
Yeah. I kind of don't know how to socialise anymore.
Oh, you'll learn in town anyway. That's for sure. You'll find your feet again.
Yeah, that's something about the trying your hand in the arts that I find really funny, because the making part of it is so solitary.
Yeah.
And you're on your own day in, day out. And then all of a sudden a Thursday comes around and you're flying into town and it's like a massive social occasion.
Yeah.
And I fly off the handle.
Just lose the run of yourself.
Yeah. I haven't heard the sound of my voice in a while.
Well, that's allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that'll be super experience. Because I was I didn't even know, like, obviously, and we'll talk about the URHA exhibition there in May, but they have, you'd know this, but this is all news to me. I popped in like to the second floor of the URHA earlier this year, and they had, I think there's a course there where people do like drawing,
or
like a diploma in drawing or something like that. There was an exhibition on the second floor.
Yes.
I went to, and I was scribbling down all the names that I liked and taking more photographs. So like it's a very exciting space. So you'll obviously, there'll be a lot of sort of other people there, influences. You'll be in the thick of it basically.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah. The standard of work coming out of the RHA school is amazing.
Yeah.
And all the work that they do is just great. So, yeah.
Yeah, there was one fella, he was, I think, different artists on different days kind of sat upstairs, as in like they were sort of on the desk.
Oh, right, invigilating, yeah.
So there was a guy, Emmett, I think was his name, and I was looking at his pieces and they're amazing. But I ended up chatting to him for a while, and he had left a corporate job.
Oh, amazing.
To pursue, his love of art, which was cool. It was really interesting to listen to people taking those kind of the jumps.
Yeah.
And to do it's very brave.
Absolutely.
So your piece in the RHA this year.
Yes.
I have to say your names of your artwork interest me.
Okay.
And they're long. So they're hard to remember. So you can tell us the name of your piece this year.
It was titled At the Starlit Sill, I Let Them Draw Near.
Now, you see how hard that would have been for me to remember that.
Sure, it was hard for me to.
Because I wasn't fully confident there when you started.
No,
I was there going,
neither was I.
Are you gonna actually be able to say it again? Tell us about that piece. It was magnificent because I took a photograph of it. I had posted it, and then obviously I saw it was lovely to see you'd sold it.
Yes,
and also over the sort of the weeks or whatever was an award or two or special recognitions.
Yeah,
and that must be super exciting.
It's honestly so exciting. It's just all a bit mad because when you're making the work, that you can feel such uncertainty, and because you just like, I have no idea how this will be received, and I like, and then to have positive feedback in the sale, and then in the two shortlists for the awards and everything, I was just
so those shortlists were for.
So. My tummy's rumbling here. I hope that doesn't pick up the mic.
Actually, the mic specifically zoom in on hungry tummies. So throughout the podcast, that's going to be the noise.
Sorry, everyone. So the two awards, one of them was a shortlist for the RCSI Award, the Royal College of Surgeons, and that was alongside some huge names like art superstars. So. To have been shortlisted was incredible.
That was a win in itself.
Yes. Yeah, and a huge win. So that was just, I'm bashful about it. I don't even know what to say about it.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like it's super. It's a recognition of your work.
Yeah.
And the piece, funny enough, it was a big piece.
Mm-hmm.
So it seemed big from memory. And when I was looking through some of your work, are you the person in a lot of your work?
I am the person.
Okay.
Technically. Yeah. I don't identify with the person.
Okay.
But yeah.
So in the piece there, in the RHA this year, that was you?
Model of me, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us a bit about that painting, because obviously there's you or the person you don't identify with, exactly. And then obviously there was lots of colour and sort of detail in the background, and there was like a toy plane hanging from the roof. Oh, and there was there like a picture of a kid or something like that?
Yes.
Did the kid have a moustache or something like that?
Yeah, handlebar moustache.
Yeah, I was looking at that going like, okay, that's definitely something that needs to be explored. Was that reference to yourself as a child with the handlebar moustache?
So that got out of hand, that portrait now.
Good.
Because that's also, those school portraits you get when you're small.
Yeah.
And it's always just a terrible memory. The photographer says, like, you're not allowed to smile, you have no teeth, And you have to sit with your sibling, and touch your sibling, God forbid, on the knee. And it's just not a fun memory. And I feel like they're so expensive and everything. But so I had one of those big ones printed out. Yeah. It's modelled, the painting is set in my attic. Yeah. Kind of which is where all those things dwell. And the handlebar moustache, because I painted the portrait and then I just thought that's just too cutesy, isn't it? I was like, it's a bit demented just paint myself and then a little portrait of myself as a child. I was like, it needs something.
And that's what you landed on.
Yeah, handlebar moustache took it down enough.
It's the natural, like, sort of next step, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
I thought it was brilliant.
Thank you.
Because my friend's parents invited me to the preview night.
Oh, fabulous.
Right? So I think that was my third year going to it. So it's because they've been real, say, supportive of me. So they invited me to the preview night. So I kind of like scurry around taking lots of photographs. But it's also nice, you have a lot of time, and, you know, you get to go around and look at the work. And it was a fantastic piece.
Thank you.
You're surrounded by fantastic names.
Yeah.
Well, like, it was a serious show.
Yeah, yeah. And then I've been shortlisted for the Hennessy Craig / Homan Potterton Prize.
Now, is that because I went to that this year already? Yeah. It was. Yeah. I'm going to say, was it 6 months ago, 4 months ago?
It was in the depths of winter.
Yeah, it was. It was dark, and I was having a little bit of Eno.
Yeah.
And all of that, which is very nice. And they had it down, I don't know the name of the room, it's like the first room in on the left.
Yeah.
There was maybe like 12, 15 artists, something like that at it. So you're in the mix for that for 2025?
It'll be in 26.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way it goes is they shortlist 5 people from one annual 1 year and 5 people from the next annual summer exhibition. And then those 10 people, I think, go on to be in the show. That'll be. So
you're one of the crew from the 2024.
Yes.
So you don't know who you're up against now for 2025 just yet.
So I know 4 of the other people who've been shortlisted, and they're all fabulous.
Yeah.
I saw you posted as well Minar's work.
Unreal.
Minar, stunning.
One of the best painters in the country.
I completely agree. Yeah, so she'll be in the show as well, and to exhibit alongside of her is really
she had 2 big pieces in that, and then I actually met the guy who bought one of them on the night. It was like a picture of, because she spoke actually.
Really?
Yeah, she spoke at it.
Damn, I missed that.
Well, I went with my friend's parents, and they get invited to kind of like preview nights. So it was like only maybe, was there 20 people there? So she spoke really well. And I think from memory, the picture, it was like an old lady eating porridge.
Yeah.
And I think it was based off, I hope I'm right, like her grandmother or something.
Might have been
something like that. But a fella who I happened to be beside, and I was chatting to him, so he bought it.
Oh my God.
And it's those 2 paintings were amazing.
They were.
They were big as well.
Humongous.
Yeah. Because she had 2 paintings in the RHA this year.
Yes.
Yeah. They were deadly.
They were also,
And they both sold, I think.
Did they? I don't doubt it. I wish I could buy one.
Yeah, they're super. Like, she's an excellent artist. Like, who's on the scene at the moment whose work you, like, no doubt, obviously, you admire all your contemporaries' work. Mm-hmm. But who would stick out for you?
Oh, gosh.
Well, Minar, obviously, is one.
Yeah, I'm a stan of Minar. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of enchanted by everyone's work, to be honest. Yeah. I think everyone is making such unique work and just really forging on with kind of breaking new ground, I feel. I think seemingly the Irish art community is a little less mauled by kind of the influences of social media and maybe like the wider art market. So everything feels really true and really interesting. So kind of, I don't know who I could mention particularly.
It is, because I remember, like, obviously you have, well, just speaking for myself, I started going to all the exhibitions, and you'd have a loose preference for a particular type of art at the start, but the more you go, the more you sort of appreciate the other styles, and, different styles for different sort of situations. So, so you do get an appreciation of kind of all artists. So I can understand how it's hard to pick people out specifically. But there's amazing talent.
Can I turn the question back on yourself?
Please do.
Yeah, who
do I like?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose now that you've turned the question on me, it's a sort of an unfair question.
That's a horrible question.
But I suppose, who do I like? Well, just picking up from what I was saying there, there's particular abstract art. I actually didn't know what abstract art was.
Okay.
This is how basic I am. So, like, if it was a life or death situation 2.5 years ago before I started this, and someone said, "What's abstract art?" I possibly would have died, So, but here I am. So, I would have had my natural I'm naturally drawn towards. I love loneliness.
Oh.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh.
Right. Now, that's not a reflection of my life or my personality, so don't worry. But I love kind of dark, lonely, sad kind of art.
Okay, interesting.
But I also, now having sort of gone around to so many and looked and studied all of you, I have a much broader spectrum of appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
So abstract art, a lot of people go, "Oh, it's just a few strokes of the brush here, there, and everywhere," and it's sure, I could do that. I can guarantee you can't do that. So I know different art for different moods. So I quite like a broad spectrum of stuff. So who do I like? I like Shane Berkery.
Yeah,
I think his stuff is excellent. I like the kind of the younger artists. I think Carl Hickey's work is very interesting because he captures the essence of Dublin really, really well. Like, it's super observant. I like Conor O'Connell. And were we talking about him before?
We were, yes.
Yeah, I was talking to him before you actually arrived. We were talking to, I was talking about him actually.
Yeah.
Geraldine Carton, I like. I like her work. It's interesting. It's quite, there's always a bit of humour kind of sort of rolled into some sort of serious subjects and that. And who else do I like? Manar. Sort of off the top of my head.
Nice. That's a good, fair list.
Yeah, I like it. I like everyone that I've had in my exhibitions. And you try and have a little bit of everything. That's the hardest thing. Because if I was to pick what I like, it would just be like a dark room with no lights on, and it's just full of lonely paintings. Like, actually, I'll tell you, one of my favorite painters of all time. I always get his name wrong though. Edward Hopper.
Yeah.
Yes. I always think, because isn't there an actor or something, Edward Hopper or something like that? Anyway, I always mix the two up. But Edward Hopper, like, his work is my ideal work.
Okay.
I love the loneliness about it.
Yeah, okay.
Like, there was a really cool one. I don't know where I saw it just the other day. And I know maybe the name was like the gas pumps or something like that. So it's like a lonely road with kind of like 5 of those old sort of American style, gas pumps. And there's just some guy like taking gas. But it's just so lonely. And I love that.
There you go. People know what to paint now for the exhibition.
Yeah. Just be lonely and miserable. Lonely and miserable. That's what it's...
the way in.
So I'm delighted, actually, because, I'm delighted you're applying.
Of course.
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled. No, it's a huge honour. It's... no, it is. I'm hugely thankful when people apply.
Sure, yeah, you'll have to let me in now. We'll see.
Well, actually,
you might reject me.
Funny you say that. I brought one of them for you.
Oh, no.
There you go. No. I thought you deserved one.
Oh, hardly.
Yeah, I thought, well, why not? I thought you deserved one. So, for people who can't see, that's one of the Wonka bars that I...
That's wild.
Yeah, so no...
Thank you so much.
That takes the pressure off you now.
It does.
You're automatically in now.
I really was frightened you weren't going to let me in. I had a bad feeling. You seem like a trickster or something.
No, it's it's unfortunately I have to let down a lot of people, and that's actually a horrible thing to do.
It must be.
It is.
I don't envy you.
And particularly, like, the more I do it, the more you kind of, like, people sort of in a strange way become sort of friends, if you know what I mean. Like, there's people that I would talk to quite a bit, and like I don't know, because people haven't, the submission portal is still open to the 13th of September.
Yeah.
But like, without doubt, like, there's people who I really like who, I'm going to have to say no to.
Yeah.
But it's not no, your work isn't good.
No.
I have to get a broad taste of all styles. So I can't just have lonely ones. And so that means, unfortunately, having to say no to amazing artists. And it's not no, your work isn't good. It's just, no, I only have a certain amount of room.
There's so much that goes into it.
So that I feel crappy about that, because people put their life and soul into it. They write me really interesting sort of submissions about themselves, very personal stuff. A lot of people tell you, which is lovely that they sort of
absolutely.
I'm not going to pass the information on, but it's lovely that people do write, and they put their heart and soul into the application. And like, if I had my way, I'd take everyone, but unfortunately I can't. Particularly, like, I started off, I had it at Studio 10.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been in there.
I've been in Studio 10. I haven't been to your exhibition, so I've been away both times.
You should have been on the first flight.
I know.
That's it. Like, put down the paintbrush and, like, head straight for Dublin.
But the hype all around your shows has been mad. Good. It's kind of very surreal to be sat here with you.
Yeah, it's a little. I'm used to the mask, right? But I appreciate other people aren't.
Yeah.
So, like, it must be sort of odd, in that sense. Are you submitting a large piece?
Yeah. Well,
Big Bug Part 2 or whatever. Instead of, what you call it, a diptych?
Diptych, yeah.
Diptych, is it?
Yeah.
So, and then triptych.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are all the words I've learned.
Quadriptych. Polydiptych, yeah.
What? How many is that? How many is that?
I think poly then is just, if you want to have more than 4, we'll say poly.
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Right. Okay. But I won't take the piss, I promise.
No, don't. Well, I have Studio 10 was amazing.
Yeah.
Venue. And the lady in there, Jeannie, was brilliant to me. And I could fit, like, the first year I sort of was, I'd say like 35 paintings or something like that. The second year, I managed to kind of squeeze in 45, 47 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was very stressful doing it, because I was measuring the place the whole time, and I was freaking out, going that I'll have made a mess of some measurement somewhere, or I'll have accepted 2 pieces too many.
That would be so easily done.
Oh, stop it. No, sleepless nights.
Yeah.
I said, this is supposed to be a stress-free project.
Yeah.
And I was here, like, I'm more stressed now than doing my own job. And I was here, I didn't need this, but I have a new venue now this year.
I've heard, I've seen.
So do you know where it is?
Yes.
It's not that one.
Okay.
That you were standing outside. I think, isn't that, or you said you were waiting?
I was lost, outside the other place.
Yeah. So no, it's just facing the street there.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it's Gormley's had an exhibition in there last September. So that was the first time I was in it. And I've been beyond lucky to be offered it.
Amazing.
So I have 2 floors in it.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's huge. So there's a basement and the ground floor, and it's spectacular.
How much bigger do you think it will be than the shows in Studio 10? Where
I'm not as, like, I've been into the building a couple of times. Well, I was actually at the Gorney's exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time I've been at that exhibition, I didn't know that I'd be using that exhibition space. So, like, I'm beyond thrilled.
I'm excited for you.
When you're in it, you'll understand why. But I've measured it loosely a couple of times, but I'm wholly inefficient at measuring. So I'll have to go back in a load of times to remeasure, redo my work, and then try and figure it out. Plus, I have to wait for all the entries to kind of come through.
Yeah.
Because I suppose so far this year, the entries are quite large.
Mm.
So that in itself, obviously, because if you take a metre by metre, that cancels out, the opportunity to take 2 30 by 30, paintings.
Yeah.
So you kind of, it's a juggling act then. But I would say I could get 60, I could get 80, I could get a bit more. It just depends on what the kind of final ones are. But a lot of people are doing large pieces, so nobody listens to me when I write on the thing. Just beware, I only have a certain amount of space for large, and then just large ones keep coming in.
Yeah,
so it's actually, but it's a lot easier. So you're among your own, basically. Yeah. So no, it's handy though this year, because I'm not too worried. So, like, if Big Bug was arriving at the front door, while it'd be sort of stressful enough, it's not much of a problem with this place. So I have a lot more freedom, which is great.
That's amazing.
So I'm looking forward to it.
And is it your last exhibition?
The grand finale.
Really?
Yeah, I'm retiring.
Wow.
Retiring after this. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we're doing. But like, to be honest, and I said on my previous podcast, I've said it before, I thought I was only doing one exhibition.
Okay.
So, but yet here I am. So I can't sort of continually fund it, I suppose. Because if I knew I was doing 3 exhibitions, I might have like said it's €500 prize,
which would have been whopper.
Yeah, but I was there going, I need a figure that'll attract people.
Yeah,
and it attracted people anyway.
It's been a hot mad thing, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. No, it's totally crazy. Like, but it's super fun.
I'm glad it's fun.
Yeah, like it is, and like you're all a weird and wonderful bunch. You're different to, say, my normal sort of folk that I hang out in. Like you're a breed into yourselves. Like, but you're really like, but it's given me more than I've given, because like I've met so many interesting people. I've learned so much. Sitting down having a chat with you. Otherwise, our paths would have crossed probably. Yeah. Until I started collecting your work and so all of that. So it's I suppose it's been enriching in that sense. Yeah. So it's really good. But yeah, at the moment it's my last exhibition. But we'll see. I might change the formula if opportunities arise. But I can't do it on my own anymore. No. The
workload is mad.
Yeah, workload's mad. Yeah. And there's the obvious sort of cost associated with it. It's so satisfying awarding the prize. It's brilliant. But picking the winner is so hard.
It must be.
It is.
It must be.
Yeah, it's really, really hard. Because actually, for the last one, Sean O'Rourke won it.
Stunning paint.
And but it was very funny. Like, and I'm actually sorry, I'm interviewing him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sorry, he only confirmed. I'm actually interviewing him.
Okay.
But it was funny, and back to the photographs. Like, his photographs that he submitted were okay, but for the fact I'd seen his work. Okay. He might not actually even made it into the show, which is very random.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and I haven't said that, but now I have.
Yeah.
But
God.
Yeah, because he was part of an exhibition just around the corner there as well. And he had this amazing painting, which he's actually posted over the last few days. I'm not sure why, but maybe there's some reason for it. So he paints on oxidized metal.
Amazing.
So he goes around to like boarded up flats and he pulls it off, dodges the guards, and then goes back and paints on it. And he did an amazing, he did amazing painting. It was like 6 or 7 guards from, say, like the public order unit, and they were on it, and it just looked deadly. But then what was interesting about him is, so obviously he made it through to the show. I hung everything. Well, I didn't, but someone else did because I can't hang anything. But I pick where everything goes and that kind of thing. Yeah. So, and then I always bring in some friends and I just let them wander around and I go like, tell me the paintings that you like. Because it's very important that you try and think of everybody's painting, as opposed to just necessarily what you like. So it was very interesting. His painting was particularly interesting because I remember my dad loved his painting. Oh. And I said, okay, that's interesting. And, he loved the kind of the Dublin scene and the idea, but the metal really adds to it. Like it weighs a ton as well. I was worried it wouldn't get up on it would pull the plaster out of the wall. And then my sister, who I would say would be more conservative, like it floored me when she picked it.
She picked it as well? Yeah. Amazing.
Whereas I sort of I was down to like maybe 3, and it was really hard because you're under pressure because you have to go get the bank draft. Like, so you have to pick early in the day before, obviously, so it becomes a bit of a rush. But I sat down actually outside the Paris Court Shopping Centre and I had like a list of, I couldn't pick the final list.
People knew.
Yeah, and I had my friend there and I was there going like, oh, my head's racked here. Like these are the kind of the final 3, what do you think, and it's always interesting to listen to other people's take on it.
Yeah.
So as an establishing artist, well, like what would you see as the difficulties in establishing yourself in Ireland, as an early stage artist?
So I'm very early stage, I would say, having just graduated in the last year. But I think, yeah, the issues can hit you quite quickly, just in terms of space to paint, and spaces to show, and price of materials kind of are the main practical things that really bite you quite quickly.
Yeah.
But there's been a good few opportunities that come around. Like what you're doing is incredible. Giving emerging people a place to show has been great, and also the shows that Herman's were running as well. It's a great chance to show work, and things have been cropping up. Things crop up, and I think Ireland tries its best to support people, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But then there's lots of other things that are difficult, even in terms of like coming on the podcast today. It's like just the having to be like media literate and things like that, and having to be able to afford like technology, like laptops and cameras and everything. Like it's kind of as an expensive game, and just being able to have enough money to come in to be able to afford the next canvas is kind of the name of the game.
Because it's Mazer and Leah Houston, who were on the first one, they were slagging me, like, because I said I took up art, right? So instead of encouraging, they just slated me.
Oh, no.
So, no, that's a joke. So I started fiddling around with art myself at home, just painting and stuff like that. And it's really enjoyable, but it's very expensive because now Evans have been very good because they've donated a prize for this year.
How wonderful.
So €500.
Oh, that's huge.
That's and then another company have donated 1,000 so they'll pick the emerging artists that they like, you know. So that'll be it. Then I'll pick my own. But it's a very expensive gig getting buying canvas, and the oils. Like, is your primary medium oil?
It is oil. Yeah. You kind of, and unfortunately I've gotten a taste for the real nice oils, which is...
Have you? Expensive taste.
Yeah, it's terrible. I wish I never dipped my toe in the really nice paints, because I was perfectly happy with student quality for a long time there.
Yeah, well, listen, your practice is on the move up, so...
It is, yeah. So it's good to invest. But at the same time, you know, it is really expensive and hard to keep up with, but it's amazing that nobody has to tell you you're good enough and supply you with the paint like maybe it would have been in the past. You know, it's like, oh, you're really great at painting, we'll buy you the materials and you can make paintings in the basement there. You know, like, it's a lot of money, but it's kind of incredible that you can just go into a shop and buy materials that will last forever, you know, and colours that won't fade, and and if it's just kind of great fun. Yeah.
Do you like repurpose your canvases and that? Like, I thought this was interesting to me. Like when I was talking to, say, Leah, she was saying, you know, that, I don't know, she has a piece that say doesn't sell after period, she, you know, paint over the canvas or something.
That's wild.
And you know, start on something new. Like, do you do that, or?
I do. It's so tempting now, because if you've done a massive painting and the canvas was really quite expensive, it's really, and you hate looking at it, like the thing is just mocking you by existing.
Yeah.
It's so tempting to paint over it. But I try my best not to, just because, like, you might come back to it in 10 years and have a soft spot for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I don't think you, as the person making it, is actually the best person to judge what it is.
Yeah.
And certainly not within any few years of having made it as well.
Yeah.
So I try my best not to, and I just fork over more money and get new canvases in.
Yeah, it's a pricey business.
Yeah.
No, but I'm really looking forward to you being involved in the show this year.
Thank you for having me.
Looking forward to seeing your piece.
Yeah.
And seeing how well your piece will be received, no doubt, because I'm trying to bring... I have the space for a lot longer this time. So
Amazing.
When I had Studio 10, I would have it for, 3 days for a show.
Mm-hmm.
But in my sort of naivety, there's obviously the setup before it and all that. So
Yeah.
But this show now it's starting on the 24th of October, and that's a preview night. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to invite all the artists who are exhibiting, and then I'm going to invite between, say, 50 and 100 people who, say, aren't artists, but who either collect art, interested in art, or would be good to get them in front of someone like yourselves' work. So that's the idea for the 24th, and then it'll kick off
amazing
on the 25th, which is the Friday night, and then I have it till the Sunday week, which is I think is the 3rd of November. Amazing. So it's cool to have it and also I have it for a good few days before, so the setup is much more relaxed, which is huge because that's quite stressful, and then the same for when the pieces are taken down. There's not too much of a rush. So if it wasn't for Mazer, I'd be in a difficult position, possibly. But no, there's people have been great supports. So I'd like to thank you very much for coming on the podcast, taking that leap of faith, and coming along, Eileen.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.
Well, that concludes the podcast number 2 of the Masked Sessions. All right.